So this story, it happened to me when I was a senior in high school. I've never told this story in public, so this is the first ever time I'm telling it in public. I just got a brand new car. I'm about to graduate high school. It was one of those Grand Prix, you guys. I thought I was hot stuff to it. I was riding around, zooming in it. But me and my buddy, we went up to Claremore one night. He's a non-Indian. And we're coming back. It's probably 12 in the morning, maybe midnight, 1 o'clock, and we had a car wreck. So we rewind that story. This is kind of like a hindsight. I had been dealing with some things in my house where my parents lived. I am very big on closing my door at night. I've always been that way. My grandpa always used to tell me that. So there'd be mornings I'd wake up and that door would just be cracked, just a little bit. I thought that was weird, so I'd ask my parents and just say, "Hey, y'all messing with the door? I like to keep my door closed, and I'm 17 years old, and I like privacy." And they go, "Well, you didn't touch your door." So fast forward about a week later, I wake up that morning, and the door's about half open. And I go to them again. I said, "Was y'all messing with my door?" My he's a prankster. He always likes to, prank me and whatnot. But they go, "No, we didn't touch that door." And so one night I'd woken up. And this is about 2 o'clock in the morning, about a week later. And I look and I see a shadow. The door opens by itself, and a shadow rushes in. And I'm like, "What is that?" I was like, "What is that?" You ever heard of sleep paralysis? I thought that's what it was, I was like, "Man, what was that?" And I kind of stirred and looked. I was like, I'll go back to sleep. So then about another week later, like I said, this is happening, recurring. That door opens all the way up, and there's a shadow with a man with a hat. He just looms in the room. And he goes and stands in the furthest corner of the room. Bear in mind, I had these shade protectors where it blocks out the out light, one of those sunblocker curtains. And he was darker than the room. Had a big old hat on, and he was about 8 foot tall. And I'm sitting there like, "Oh man, I don't know if that, what is that, just kind of, I guess I'll go back to sleep." This happened again the next night. So I told you guys that I got in a car accident. About a week before I was supposed to graduate, we went to Claremore. We were driving through Inola, and it was almost as if I kind of blacked out, like I just went to sleep. And I woke up right before we were about to hit the embankment, to where a tree and a light pole were kind of parallel to each other, and I hit my buddy. I pulled him back, and I knocked his leg out. He ended up tearing his ACL because his leg was through the windshield. And I ended up waking up and the sun's coming up, and I'm hitting on him on his chest, like, "Hey, wake up, wake up, wake up." He finally ends up waking up. We call 911, and emergency services comes, and they go, "You were about half an inch from hitting that light pole and dying." And so I had to internalize that, and just kind of think back. You're just, you start looking back at your behavior and how you do things in life. And so there had been some other recurring things happening at the house, and I go to see I wouldn't say she's a medicine woman, but she's a Cherokee. She's a seer. She can see auras and things of that nature. And she goes, "I'm looking at you, and your light is real bright." She said, "But there's a tinge of black around the border of your aura." And I asked her, I said, "Well, what could that be?" She said, "There's something trying to get to you, but it can't quite get close to you." And she goes, "Did something bad happen to you here recently?" And I told her, I said, "Yeah, I got in a real bad car accident, totaled my car." And she goes, She goes, do you remember seeing anything, around you when you woke up? And I said, I thought I saw something standing on the edge of the headlights, because the headlights are still on. And I thought I thought I saw something at the edge of the headlights. And she goes, you were probably supposed to die that day, but something saved me. And I carry that with me, That's kind of the reason why I collect stories, and I'm a storyteller, and I tell these stories and share information. Because, our elders are, with COVID and everything of that nature, we're losing a lot of our stories, And being a storyteller and a story collector is important. So if any young ones out here got a story, you heard something from your grandparents, they say, hey, don't whistle at night. Or, hey, don't answer the door if you hear some knocks. There's things out here that your elders, they tell you this for a reason. I didn't listen. Guess what? I paid the consequences of those actions. So with that being said, does anyone in here have a story? Anybody got a story? Come on up. And thank you.